Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 1 hour. Donald Trump safe after another apparent assassination attempt at a Florida golf club. FBI takes suspect in custody. Trump retorts that nothing will slow him down and he will never surrender. President Biden says there is no place for political violence. Typhoon Bebinca makes landfall in Shanghai as a Category 1 storm, most powerful tropical storm to hit megacities since 1949. All flights cancelled from cities to airports. Europe faces nature's fury. Storm Boris wreaks havoc across Romania, Czech Republic, Poland, while thousands evacuated. Germany and Austria brace for worst as threat of floods looms large. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate 4th Global Reinvest Renewable Energy Investors Meet in Gujarat. Will also flag off several Vande Bharat trains, including India's first Vande Bharat, in fact Vande Metro from Bhuj to Ahmedabad. Netanyahu says Israel would inflict a heavy price on Yemen's Houthis after their missile reaches central Israel for the first time. No injuries reported.
They should have known by now that we were exacting a heavy price for every attempt to harm us.
Former US President Donald Trump narrowly survived yet another assassination attempt in South Florida just 2 months after another gunman tried to kill the Republican presidential candidate. The former president said he was safe and well, and authorities held a man in custody. The FBI said it is investigating the assassination attempt. Trump released a statement on Sunday afternoon declaring, I quote, he was safe and well and no one was hurt. Law enforcement officials have detained a man who they said had been hiding in the bushes bordering the Trump International Golf Club.
We have somebody in custody right now that is a potential suspect. We got a little bit more work to do on it, but as we usually do, as soon as we decide that we're going to book him into the county jail and the charges that he's going to be booked into, we'll get those to you and we'll get a picture of him and we'll get you his background.
The suspected attack on Trump's life comes little more than 7 weeks before he faces Vice President Kamala Harris in a tense and closely fought presidential election. It is the second time a man armed with an assault rifle has tried to kill the 45th president in 2 months. President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris have expressed relief that former President Trump had escaped unhurt in a second assassination attempt in Florida. Vice President Kamala Harris issued a statement following the incident. Harris expressed relief that Trump is safe and said that violence has no place in the U.S. Harris's vice presidential running mate, Tim Walz, reiterated Harris's message, adding, it is not who we are as a nation. Trump's running mate, U.S. Senator J.D. Vance, said, I'm glad President Trump is safe. I spoke to him before the news was public, and he was amazingly in good spirits. As former president and the Republican candidate for the upcoming elections, Donald Trump witnessed another assassination attempt on his life. We take a look at the assassination attempts on presidents and American leaders in the past. Up your screens, we will have the details of that. U.S. President Theodore Roosevelt was shot in the chest in 1912 while campaigning for election in Milwaukee, but insisted on delivering his speech to supporters before being taken to a hospital. President Gerald Ford survived 2 attempts on his life in less than 3 weeks in 1975 without being hurt. Former President Ronald Reagan was shot in 1981 outside the Hilton Hotel in Washington. Reagan was wounded when one of the bullets bounced off a limousine and struck him under the left armpit. Donald Trump survived an attempt on his life during a campaign speech in Pennsylvania on July 13th. When shots rang out, Trump was shot in the ear. Robert F. Kennedy, who was the brother of former President John F. Kennedy, was a U.S. presidential candidate and a senator. Kennedy was assassinated in 1968 by a gunman in the Ambassador Hotel in Los Angeles. Alabama Governor George C. Wallace, who was a candidate for the Democratic presidential nomination, was shot in 1972 and became paralyzed from the waist down. Donald Trump posted on his Truth Social account, "I hate Taylor Swift," 5 days after the singer's endorsement of his opponent, U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris. The post came as a surprise, even from the provocative Donald Trump. Though the all-caps post on his Truth Social website came without accompanying commentary for the explanation, the context was clear. Soon after Harris finished debating her Republican rival Donald Trump on Tuesday night, Swift told her followers that Harris and running mate Tim Walz would get her vote in the election. Swift drew more than 9 million likes to her Instagram post backing Vice President Kamala Harris for presidentship from celebrities that included Jennifer Aniston, U.S. basketball star Caitlin Clark and Selena Gomez. All right, let's turn focus to weather updates now. Typhoon Bebinca made landfall in Shanghai on Monday morning as a Category 1 storm, the most powerful tropical storm to directly hit in more than 7 decades. The China Meteorological Administration has issued a typhoon red alert, warning of gales and heavy rains in the region. Hundreds of flights have been cancelled. Major tourist attractions are temporarily closed. Railway and transportation services have been suspended for safety reasons. The typhoon could be the strongest tropical cyclone to hit Shanghai since Typhoon Gloria in 1949. Another typhoon, Yagi, killed at least 4 people and injured 95 when it struck China's southern island of Hainan earlier this month. Some parts of the Czech Republic and Poland faced the worst flooding in almost 3 decades as towns evacuated thousands of residents due to Storm Boris. More rain and strong winds are forecast until at least Monday in Central Europe. 250,000 Czech homes were without power. Authorities are on high alert with more rain anticipated. Meanwhile, the director of the Fire Rescue Service reported that over 200 fallen trees have been cleared within the past 24 hours. A bridge collapsed in the historic Polish town of Glukulazy near the Czech border, and 1,600 residents were evacuated after local rivers reached record high levels on Sunday. One person died in Kłodzko County, which Prime Minister Donald Tusk said was the worst hit area of the country after meeting officials in the main town.
The situation is indeed still very dramatic in many areas, as you yourself all reporting on throughout the day. The most dramatic situation is in the Kłodzka Valley, in Kłodzka County, that is, of course, Stony Salaski and Ladakh.
Germany and neighbouring Austria have been bracing for floods as water levels in rivers rise above the danger mark amid heavy rainfall. In Germany, the largest state of Bavaria, along with other regions bordering Austria, are among the worst hit. A river along the border breached its banks. Authorities declared a warning at level 3 or 4 for southern and eastern Germany. Meanwhile, Austria has declared its entire federal state of Lower Austria an area of disaster due to heavy rainfall. The military has deployed 2,400 officials for flood relief and rescue work. Firefighters have also been involved in installation of emergency shelters. Devastating floods early last week caused walls of a prison in Nigeria's Maiduguri to collapse, allowing 281 prisoners to escape, prison officials said on Sunday. 7 of the escaped inmates have been recaptured in operations by security agencies. Umar Abubakar, spokesperson for the Nigeria Correctional Services, said in a statement. He also said that operations to recapture the remainder of the inmates are underway. The flooding began when a dam overflowed following heavy rains, killing at least 30 people, according to the country's emergency agency. While severe droughts in Brazil's Amazon rainforest are significantly impacting residents' lives, with record low water levels in the upper stretches of the Amazon River severely restricting mobility. In Manacapuro, the drought has disrupted navigation on the Solomos River, which merges into the Amazon River downstream and serves as a crucial transport route for the town. Boats stranded on sandbanks are now a frequent sight, complicating the transport of local goods such as fish, bananas and cassava, and interfering with the delivery of essential supplies like food and water. According to the National Center for Monitoring and Early Warning of Natural Disasters, the current drought is the most intense and widespread Brazil has experienced. An earthquake of magnitude 6.6 struck off the coast of Port McNeill in Canada's British Columbia. The quake was centered around 265 kilometers south of Prince Rupert at a depth of 33 kilometers beneath the surface. However, there is no warning of tsunami threat after the quake. In India, water enters the low-lying areas as water level in river Yamuna and Ganga rises in Uttar Pradesh's Prayagraj. In the recent days, Prayagraj has witnessed record-breaking rainfall. The Aarti sites at the ghats have been inundated by floodwaters. Heavy deluge has caused the Sangam Ghat to submerge. The National Disaster Response Force has launched the rescue operations in the affected areas of the district. You're watching DD India News Hour. We're heading for a short break, but after the break, Russia launches drone attack on Kyiv after bombing Kharkiv apartment building. Zelensky says Ukraine suffering high losses due to slow arms supplies. Political activity in Sri Lanka heats up as candidates make final efforts to woo the voters. Stay with us to get all the glitz and glamour at the Emmy Awards in Hollywood.
Always welcoming. The vibe of Punjab is larger than life. Warm up to grandeur that's beyond compare. And history that's dotted with tales of bravery. Smiling soul of India, where music, art, cuisine and culture comes together to create an unforgettable impression. Punjab is all set to win your hearts with its unique and colorful extravaganza.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India News. Let's get you more international updates. The conflict in West Asia continues to assume wider proportions when a ballistic missile fired by terrorist group Houthi from Yemen reached Israel for the first time on Sunday. Houthi military said the new hypersonic ballistic missile traveled 2,040 kilometers in just 11.5 minutes. The missile triggered air raids, sirens in Tel Aviv and across central Israel, sending residents running for shelter. An Israeli military said the missile was hit by an interceptor and fragmented in the air rather than being completely destroyed. It also said 40 projectiles were also fired towards Israel from Lebanon on Sunday and were either intercepted or landed in open areas. The Houthis have fired missiles and drones at Israel repeatedly in what they say is solidarity with the Palestinians since the Gaza conflict began with Hamas attack on Israel in October. Meanwhile, Israeli President Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed heavy price for the missile attack. Referring to Hodeidah port strikes on Houthis in July, he said whoever needs a reminder of that is invited to visit the Hodeidah port. Previously, a drone that hit Tel Aviv for the first time in July killed a man and wounded 4 people. And in response, Israeli airstrikes on Houthi military targets near the port of Hodeidah killed 6 and wounded 80.
We are in a multi-front campaign against Iran's axis of evil, which is striving for our destruction. Houthis launched a surface-to-surface missile from Yemen into our territory. They should have known by now that we were exacting a heavy price for every attempt to harm us. Anyone who needs a reminder on this matter is welcome to visit the port of Hodeidah. Whoever attacks us will not evade our strike. Hamas is already learning this through our determined action, which will bring about its destruction and the release of all of our hostages.
In the latest incident in Israel, a border police officer was stabbed in Old City of Jerusalem on Sunday, and police are calling it a terror attack. The attack took place near the Damascus Gate. The injured officer was evacuated for medical treatment. Police said the terrorist was neutralized and the attack was concluded swiftly and professionally. Pope Francis appealed for peace in the Middle East and the release of the hostages. It was his first Angelus prayer since returning from a 12-day trip across Asia and Oceania. The Pope commemorated Hersh Goldberg Polin, a 23-year-old American-Israeli who was found dead in Gaza on September 1st, along with 5 other hostages, and expressed his solidarity with his mother, Rachel.
We must not forget the wars that bloody the world. I think of the martyred Ukraine of Myanmar. I think of the Middle East, so many innocent victims. I think of the mothers who have lost sons in wars. So many young lives cut short. I think of the Hersh Goldenberg Polin found dead on September 1st along with 5 other hostages in Gaza. In November last year, I met his mother Rachel, who impressed me with her humanity. I accompany her at this moment. I pray for the victims and continue to be close to all the families of the hostages. May the conflict in Palestine and Israel end. May the violence cease. May the hatred cease. May the hostages be released. May negotiations continue and may peace solutions be found.
Jordan's King Abdullah II has nominated his chief of staff to be the new prime minister of the country, entrusting him with forming a government after parliamentary elections. The outgoing premier, Bashir Khassaune, submitted his resignation to the king earlier on Sunday. Hassan, a former planning minister, is a veteran diplomat and former palace advisor who was appointed nearly 4 years ago. Harvard-educated Hassan is a widely respected technocrat. The Islamists won 31 seats, the most since parliamentary life was revived in 1989 after decades of martial law, leaving them the largest political grouping in parliament. Under Jordan's constitution, most powers still rest with the king, who appoints governments and can dissolve parliament. The assembly can force a cabinet to resign by a vote of no confidence. Russia launched a drone attack overnight on Kyiv, with air defense units engaged in repelling the strikes. Earlier in Kharkiv, Ukraine's second-largest city, a Russian-guided bomb struck a multi-story apartment building on Sunday, igniting a fierce fire, killing 1 person and leaving 42 injured, including 3 children. The devastating attack caused significant damage to the building, with smoke and flames pouring from the shattered windows. Kharkiv's mayor confirmed the fire was eventually extinguished, though fears remain that the residents may be trapped beneath the rubble. Located near the Russian border, Kharkiv is no stranger to these relentless assaults from bombs, missiles and drones, suffering nearly daily attacks. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Sunday once again urged Western allies to permit Kyiv to strike military targets deep inside Russia, especially the air bases, after a deadly attack on Kharkiv. Zelensky, in his nightly video address, said 3 other guided bombs had struck villages in Kharkiv region, where population centers have been a frequent target of Russian attacks near the Russian border. Zelensky called for rapid decisions on long-range strikes. He said appropriate decisions were expected in the first instance from the United States, France, Germany and Italy.
Every Russian strike of this nature, every instance of Russian terror, like today in Kharkiv, this proves that there must be long-range capability and it must be sufficient. We are waiting for appropriate decisions coming primarily from the United States, the United Kingdom, France, Germany, Italy.
North Korea's Supreme People's Assembly is set to reconvene on October 7th in Pyongyang with a major constitutional amendment on the table. The session follows January's explosive meeting where leader Kim Jong-un declared South Korea the primary foe and dismissed hopes for reunification. Kim's call for constitutional changes marks a turning point in the regime's policy, cementing the divide between the two Koreas. The upcoming session is expected to formalize their stance while also addressing laws on light industry and product quality. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer has promised a new era in cross-border cooperation to tackle people smuggling gangs ahead of talks on Monday with Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni. This visit is part of his push to reset Britain's relations with Europe. Starmer has put renewing ties with European leaders at the top of his diplomatic agenda since winning an election in July, and Monday's visit to Rome follows trips to Berlin, Paris and Dublin in the recent weeks. In his meeting with Meloni, Starmer will stress his commitment to tackling illegal migration and the need to work with European partners to smash the business model of the illegal networks that fuels it. Starmer has scrapped the previous government's plan to deport asylum seekers who arrive in small boats to Rwanda, but has not ruled out arrangements that could see asylum claims processed offshore, which is similar to an agreement Italy has struck with Albania. Venezuelan Interior Minister Diosdado Cabello accused Spain of planning to supply mercenaries for a US-led anti-government operation in Venezuela. Now, according to Cabello, the detained identified Spaniards belong to the Center for National Intelligence of Spain. Cabello also accused Spain of being involved in the recruitment of French agents. Meanwhile, a Spanish foreign ministry source said that the arrested Spanish nationals had no links to the Spanish Secret Service and that Spain was not involved in any plan to destabilize the South American country. 2 Spaniards, 3 US citizens and a Czech citizen were arrested in Venezuela on suspicion of links to an alleged plot to undermine President Maduro's government. Mexico's judicial reform that will overhaul the country's courts and allow voters to elect judges officially came into effect on Sunday after the text of the constitutional changes was published in the government gazette. The reforms mark a major legislative victory in President López Obrador's final weeks in office. He argued that the overhaul was needed to better serve the interests of the ordinary citizens. The government begins the process to prepare for the first judicial elections for federal judges, including Supreme Court justices, set for next June. In Sri Lanka, campaigning for presidential elections scheduled for Saturday has intensified, with candidates making final efforts to woo the voters. The front-runner candidates have been holding meetings and election rallies in various places, discussing various issues. Addressing election meetings at Haryana and Nuwara Eliya yesterday, incumbent President Ranil Wickremesinghe said that his primary objective is to ease the burden on the lives of the people. He emphasized the importance of upholding the agreements made with the International Monetary Fund and moving forward with them. All right, Dr. Ahmed Moeen Farooqi is joining us from Colombo. Ahmed, good morning. Now we see that campaigning is on and the contenders are making last-ditch efforts to woo the voters. Help us, get us more on the current political sentiment in the country. How is the political landscape, shaped up? Get us the latest on these first.
Good morning, Preeti, and good morning to all our viewers. I'm currently in Nuwara Eliya, which is the estate region, the upcountry region of Sri Lanka. You see, in various parts of Sri Lanka, there are different issues which are peculiar to the region. So, over the last few days, the front-runner candidates, the incumbent President Ranil Wickremesinghe, SJP candidate Sajith Premadasa, and NPP leader Anura Kumara Dissanayaka. They have been holding rallies in various places in the north, in the eastern side, in various places in estate areas also. So yesterday here we had seen a good number of rallies which were done by incumbent president. He did a rally at Kandy, then he proceeded towards Nuwara area. Later he went towards Ratnapura. And likewise, Anura Kumara Dissanayaka also held rallies in various parts of the estate. Sajid Premadasa held rallies in the northern part of the country as well as eastern part of the country. However, as of now, it is very, very evident that people have been talking about the economic condition which Sri Lankan island had faced over the last 2 years. And this is something which will be a key issue for the election among the people here. At the same time, I would like to also remind all our viewers that this Saturday, the election is going to be held 21st of September, where 38 candidates totally are in the fray. But the top 3 candidates, whose name I already mentioned, are considered as the front runners. At the same time, I also have to mention here that in the eventuality that none of the candidates secure a 50% of the popular vote, the second round of counting will be later on commenced for the top 2 candidates. So that is the current scenario as of now, Preeti. In addition to this, if you talk about the promises which the candidates have been making, the incumbent president has been talking about the reforms that he has brought about, the IMF deal he has struck, and he's talking about the future development in the in various places, including the estate areas. While Mr. Premadasa has been talking about implementation of 13th Amendment, he's talking of resuming the housing project in the north. He's talking of various developmental projects in the eastern province. At the same time, Mr. Anura Kumara Dissanayaka, he has been talking about the poverty alleviation programs that he's planning, and with complete revamp of the policies of the government. He calls the previous regimes as highly corrupt, and he says that a complete revamp is something that is needed in a radical change.
All right, Ahmed, now that was about the promises made by the contenders and also the issues that are, on the minds of the voters. But then when we talk of the challenges for the new regime, we've seen how the country plunged into economic uncertainty because of the political circumstances that happened last year. Help us understand what are the challenges specifically that await the new regime, when the new government comes into power.
You see, the key challenge will be to tackle the issue of economic revival, the recovery which Sri Lanka is already on. It is, incumbent upon several of these issues like the IMF deal going through, as well as improvement in the government revenues, which will depend a lot on the income taxes. If a new government comes with a populist scheme to slash the income tax, they will have to find ways to find revenues for the government, which is a very key issue because the GDP is something which has to be improved. There was a GDP contraction over the last 2 years, and this year the GDP is expected to grow around 2 to 2.4%. So this is a major issue because investors, if they have to look at Sri Lanka as an option, they will need some amount of a promise that there is something in it for them in form of a growth. So that is one area, one critical area for the new government. The second issue will be with regard to bringing all the communities together, with regard to reconciliation among all the ethnic people. There is northern issue, there is the upcountry issue. In addition to that, there are issues of the Muslim communities also. So this is another major issue which people would be looking forward to. There are other smaller issues which the government will take care of in terms of creation of jobs, creation of employment opportunities for various people. But these are right now not that popular as much as people are talking about the economic issues. So this is how it plans out for now. The new government will look forward to bring about changes in the systems which they have been talking about. However, the incumbent president is saying that his policies have been in the right direction and he will want to continue. So there are different challenges which exist and there's different strategies which the candidates are showing. Please.
All right, Ahmed, we'll leave it here. Thank you so much for joining in with those details.
Thank you.
And I will take a look at other stories making it to the headlines from across the world. At least 8 migrants have died off the coast of France while attempting to cross the English Channel on September 15th. The incident occurred near Ambleteuse, when a boat carrying dozens was spotted in distress. French rescue services provided medical assistance to 53 migrants, but 8 could not be saved. Russian free diver Alexei Molchanov set a new world record in free diving, plunging into a depth of 125 meters in the Mediterranean Sea during the AIDA Free Diving World Championships in France's Corsica. The free diver broke his own record, which he had set in 2023 by 1 meter. Actor Andrew Scott and rapper Jelly Roll were among the first to arrive at the annual Emmy Awards in Hollywood on Sunday. Meryl Streep stole everyone's attention with her boss lady look at the red carpet of the 76th annual Primetime Emmy Awards. Reese Witherspoon, Jennifer Aniston and the Crown star Elizabeth Debicki also wowed on the red carpet in downtown Los Angeles. You're watching DD India News. We're heading for a short break, but after the break, in its bid to help countries affected by Typhoon Yagi, India launches Operation Sadbhav, sends massive aid to Myanmar, Vietnam and Laos. Campaigning in full swing for the first phase of assembly elections in India's Jammu and Kashmir. It's festivities galore as Hindus celebrate Ganesh idol emergence and Muslims worldwide celebrate birth of Prophet Muhammad today.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked, we just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India News. A quick relook at the top stories now. Donald Trump safe after another apparent assassination attempt at a Florida golf club. FBI takes suspect in custody. Trump retorts that nothing will slow him down and he will never surrender. President Biden says there is no place for political violence. Typhoon Bebinca makes landfall in Shanghai as a Category 1 storm, most powerful tropical cyclone to hit mega cities since 1949. All flights cancelled from city's 2 airports. Europe faces nature's fury. Storm Boris wreaks havoc across Romania, Czech Republic, Poland, while thousands evacuated. Germany and Austria brace for worst as threat of floods looms large. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate the 4th Global Reinvest Renewable Energy Investors Meet in Gujarat will also flag off several Vande Bharat trains, including India's first Vande Metro from Bhuj to Ahmedabad. Netanyahu says Israel would inflict a heavy price on Yemen's Houthis after their missile reaches central Israel for the first time. No injuries reported. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi is on a 2-day visit to his home state Gujarat. On Monday, the Prime Minister will address and inaugurate the 4th Global Renewable Energy Investment Meet in Gandhinagar. The 2-day event will showcase the renewable energy sector prowess of India and also seeks to attract investment in the sector. Multiple companies including Tata Power, Suzlon Energy, Waaree among others are showcasing their offerings and achievements in the sector. Even countries like Germany and the European Union have set up their pavilion at the exhibition in Gandhinagar to showcase their country's offerings. Also, Prime Minister will flag off India's first Vande Metro from Bhuj to Ahmedabad and several Vande Bharat trains. The Vande Bharat trains will run from Nagpur to Secunderabad, Kolhapur to Pune, Agra Cant to Banaras, Durg to Visakhapatnam, Pune to Hubli, and the first 20-coach Vande Bharat train from Varanasi to Delhi. Prime Minister will also lay the foundation stone and inaugurate developmental projects worth more than 8,000 crore rupees in Ahmedabad. He will also sanction over 30,000 houses under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Grameen and release their first installments. After inaugurating Ahmedabad Metro Rail Project Phase 2, Prime Minister Modi will take a metro ride from Section 1 Metro Station till Gift City Metro Station. DD India correspondent Meghna Dev spoke to the Director of Gujarat Metro Rail Corporation for more on this.
In by Sanjeev Mehta, who is the Director of Gujarat Metro Rail Corporation, and we are on the trial ride of the metro, which will be inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on 16th of September. Sir, which places is this route going to connect? How many stations are you opening at the moment? Can you give us more details?
So what I would explain is this phase 2 of Gujarat Metro Rail Corporation project is the extension of already running north-south section, where we are running a train from APMC to Motera. So this phase 2 will connect the Ahmedabad to the Gandhinagar. So for initial phase, we are connecting 8 stations. And then there is one more branch line which goes from JNLU to Gift City.
When we're talking about the connectivity between Ahmedabad and Gandhinagar, which is something that the local people are waiting for as well, how you see that?
Yeah, I can see the joy. I mean, people are eagerly awaiting this project because, and it is also giving a lot of, friendly transportation mean, because if you see, we have escalator lifts everywhere. We have particularly taken care of the passenger amenity services. So whatever I have interacted with people and others, they are very happy about this.
Metro rail route being inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the 16th of September, we'll definitely be seeing that it will connect various places with opening up of 8 stations in the Gandhinagar route, and it will slowly be also connecting to Ahmedabad. With camera person Lakshman Rajput, this is Meghna Dev for DD India from Gandhinagar. We are joined in by Sanjeev Mehta, who is the...
All right, Dipendu Mondal joins us from Gandhinagar, Gujarat. Dipendu, good morning. Now, we've just given a broad outline of the Prime Minister's program in Gujarat today. Get us more on that. Is the stage all set? Preparations in place? Also, the Prime Minister will be inaugurating the 4th Reinvest Summit meet, in fact. Help us understand how is renewable energy, important given the India's ambitions of, doing away with the fossil fuels. How is this sector to be capped?
Well, very good morning, Preeti. That's right. The Prime Minister is expected to inaugurate the 4th Global Renewable Energy Summit here in Gandhinagar, which is the capital of Gujarat. And of course, at around 10:45, we'll see the Prime Minister arriving here. There are, the government is trying, both the center as well as the state government here is trying to push in the renewable energy sector. Remember, Gujarat has one village that is completely powered by solar energy. So, of course, the push for renewable energy by this government is immense. And over the last, 1.5 years, we have seen that the government, which is the central government's commitment towards, moving towards renewable energy has been quite significant. We have seen Prime Minister launching the PM Surya Ghar Yojana, which includes having rooftop solar panels in almost 1 lakh household in the next couple of years is what the Prime Minister committed. He's also expected to meet some of the beneficiaries of the PM Surya Ghar Yojana this morning in Ahmedabad. So, of course, the push is clear towards moving moving towards renewable energy and reducing the dependency on fossil fuel. This is the commitment of the government. The government is pushing towards moving towards the renewable energy sector, and this is the fourth perhaps summit for attracting more investment into this sector over the next couple of years. There are multiple business leaders, companies that have come in that have invested much into the renewable sector over the last couple of years. We have seen Tata Power, we have seen Waaree, which is one of the biggest solar energy company that is in India, is also showcasing their commitment, their offerings here at the exhibition in Gandhinagar. Not just this, Preeti, also the government's commitment to have 300 gigawatt of solar power by the next 6 years, which is by 2030, is also something that the government will give much needed push in the coming days for increasing solar power sector. Not just the solar, but also tapping into the wind and hydro energy sector is something that that will be available for investors here in Gandhinagar, that is being exhibited in the multiple exhibitions here. So we'll of course wait for what the Prime Minister speaks at about 10:45 when he comes at the Gandhinagar Mahatma Mandir, where this particular summit is taking place.
All right, Dibyendu, for any region to flourish, infrastructure plays a very important role. And the Prime Minister today will be inaugurating and launching the Vande Metro that will run from Bhuj to Ahmedabad. We just also, just saw a report by Meghna Dev which talked of, the prospects of the metro. You help us understand more. How far will it help the region and the people?
Well, Preeti, that's right. The metro is something which will become a lifeline in Ahmedabad. See where we come from. It is the national capital, Delhi. We have seen how metro has played a very, very significant role in improving the commuting of passengers and helping ease traffic conditions on road. So, of course, this second phase of metro, which Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to inaugurate today in Ahmedabad, will, of course, bring much needed relief to the people by giving them better connectivity in the city. It will also help ease the traffic in the city. So, of course, it is a project that needs no mention to say that, of course, that is going to benefit thousands of people of Ahmedabad in the coming days. So, of course, the first phase of metro is already giving much needed relief to the commuters who have to daily commute from one place to the other. But of course, this metro project, the second phase, which will be inaugurated today, will bring further relief to the people of Ahmedabad. And of course, the people are elated. They're happy with the fact that the government's progress towards improving the lives and making commute easy is, of course, something that the people of Gujarat as well as Ahmedabad are applauding the government for. Preeti.
All right, Dibyendu, we leave it here. Thank you for joining in with those details. All right, from Gujarat, we now turn focus to Jammu and Kashmir. Campaigning is in full swing for the first phase of assembly elections in Jammu and Kashmir. 24 assembly constituencies will go to polls in this phase on 18th of this month. Top leaders of major political parties are making all-out efforts to woo the voters. The three-phase elections will be held in the 90-member Jammu and Kashmir Assembly, and that will be held on September 18th, 25th and 1st of October. The results will be declared on 8th of October. All right, our correspondent Tahir Nadeem Khan joins us. Tahir, we tell our viewers that campaigning is at its peak, given a few days left for the first phase of polling in Jammu and Kashmir. You tell us, what are you witnessing? How do you see the political temperature soaring there?
Well, today is the last day of campaigning here, and political parties, their candidates and those independents are going all the way on the last day to motivate the voters to vote for them. Upbeat, I would say the people are upbeat, voter is upbeat, and even political parties, they have pushed them to the limit, because each political parties and even the independents are going all the way to woo the voters in whatever way they can. They are reaching out to them, going to each and every household, trying to convince them to vote for them. And today, on the last day of campaigning, Union Home Minister Amit Shah is scheduled to address 3 political rallies, one at Ramban and 2 in district Kishtwar at Kishtwar town and Padar respectively. The overall this atmosphere is very upbeat. Voters have become VVIP. I would say the very important person in this election, because I think this election commission of India, this slogan, every vote counts, has gone so well with the voters that they have come to know, they have realized that their vote is very important, and that has resulted that all the political parties and independents are trying to woo the voters in whatever way they can. They are reaching out to them. If we consider the previous election in 2014, 10 assembly segments where victory margin was less than 1,000. Taking that thing in consideration, these candidates and independents even know that the victory margin is going to remain very low. That is why they are trying to woo each and every voter. And out of those 10 constituencies, even the then Chief Minister Umar Abdullah, his victory margin was just 914 votes. And out of those 10 constituencies, 4 constituencies were where victory margin was less than 200, including Gurez, Karna and Kulgam seats. So on the last day of the election, every candidate, be it independent or smaller parties, which apparently look, they have no bigger fan base here, they are even confident that they are going to win, and they are putting all their efforts. That has pushed even the larger players to the limits this time.
All right, Tahir, also we see when the first phase of polling will be held on 18th of September.
18th.
Help us get more as to which are the constituencies that will go to the polls. What is, what is the highlight of these constituencies? What would be that we should be looking forward to the first phase of polls on 18th?
In the first phase, 16 constituencies of southern Kashmir, including Shopian district, Anantnag and Pampur, they are going to polls on this date, and 3 districts, which has 8 constituencies, 3 each in Doda and Kishtwar, and 2 in Ramban district of Chenab region. They are going to vote. All these constituencies are hill-bound. People reside in hilly areas. Population is very scattered. There are small hamlets. Even you can say that there are consist of 2-3 households, which is a hamlet, consists of a hamlet. And to reach out to the town, they need to travel 30 to 40 kilometers, even today itself. So these constituencies mean a lot, because the people over here, the voter, has become aware of their importance of their vote. So highlight of the constituency, highlight their demands. If you are talking about their demands, still they are talking about, there is no other thing. You can't say that there is caste factor, religion factor on that. They are talking about development. They want better connectivity. They want better employment opportunities. They want better education. They want better basic facilities. These are the issues, and these are going to take the center stage in the first phase of election. And candidates of all the political parties and even those independents have understood this. That is why they have come with their roadmap for their constituencies. I'm not talking about their what they have come as for the entire Jammu and Kashmir. But for the particular constituency, particular area, they are trying to woo, they are trying to convince the voters that their problems will be resolved. That is I think the best thing in recent times, that only thing which is taking the center stage is the development of the area in all the sectors.
All right, Tahir, we'll leave it here. Thank you for joining in with those details. All right, getting you more updates. India is committed towards reducing the carbon footprint, and one step in this direction is rooftop solar panels, which not only provide green energy but also reduce electricity bills. The Narendra Modi government in India is giving a special subsidy that encourages people to go for it. On his 2-day visit to the state of Gujarat, the Prime Minister would be interacting with the beneficiaries of this scheme. DD India's correspondent Vishal Baristow talks to some of them. Let's listen in.
I'm here in Wawol in the city of Gandhinagar, and this is Shaleen to Society. So what brings the Prime Minister here?
We are very happy, first of all, because Prime Minister Narendra Modi come to our society, Shaleen to Wawol, because solar energy productions is very good for our society and our national and international level, and our Prime Minister is very visionary.
First of all, excitement is about the coming of Prime Minister. He is coming for the first time to our society, and we guys are really excited for it. And the reason for him coming is solar panels and solar energy. So we are very excited for him to come here.
Why is solar panels so beneficial for you?
It's beneficial especially for economically support. When we use AC or other electronic item in the summer, it will help. We have a bill like 10,000 or any more. But when we get a solar panel, we have a bill pay 0% in our house.
This is the society, and there you can see the excitement on their faces. And why not? Because they have shown the way how you should use clean and green energy, and at the same time how can you save your electricity bill. With cameraman Piyush in Gandhinagar, this is Vishal Baristo for DD India.
India on Sunday launched Operation Sadbhav with an aim to help people affected by Typhoon Yagi in the countries including Myanmar, Vietnam and Laos. Under the mission, 10 tons of aid, including dry rations, clothing and medicines, have been sent to Myanmar aboard the Indian Navy's warship INS Satpura. Relief goods to people of Vietnam affected by Typhoon Yagi were delivered in Hanoi on Sunday by special Indian aircraft. 35 tons of water purifiers, kitchen sets, blankets, mosquito nets, solar lamps and water containers were handed by the ambassador. While emergency food relief assistance was also sent to Lao PDR, 10 tons of relief supplies airlifted on board IAF aircraft and were handed over by Ambassador Prashant Agrawal to Laos Vice Minister for Labour and Social Welfare. All right, a quick look at other stories making it to the headlines across India. Devotees will bid a grand and emotional farewell to Lord Ganesha on Monday by immersing the idols of Lord Ganesha across India. Chants of Ganpati Bappa Moria urging the Lord to return early next year filled the air as devotees took their idols to beaches and artificial water bodies for immersion during Ganesh Visarjan. It is believed that the god who comes to the earthly realms on Ganesh Chaturthi returns to his celestial abode after immersion. World celebrates Eid-ul-Milad, the birth of Holy Prophet Muhammad. Muslims across the globe observe this occasion with immense happiness. Mecca, a city in Saudi Arabia, is the birthplace of Prophet Muhammad. Eid-ul-Milad is a significant celebration for the Muslims dedicated to honoring the birth of Prophet Muhammad. A 13-year-old school student, Presley Shekinat, creates a portrait of Prime Minister Narendra Modi using grains and lentils in a 12-hour-long effort. Ahead of Prime Minister's 74th birthday on September 17th, the artwork is not just a visual masterpiece but also a symbol of the youth's recognition of Modi's leadership and contribution to the nation. You're watching DD India News. Let's take a look at sports updates now. In hockey, the battle lines are drawn for the penultimate fight for the Asian Champions Trophy 2024 as India, Pakistan, China and Korea prepare for the semi-finals scheduled in China on Monday. Pakistan will face off against the host side in the first semi-final day at 1:15 p.m. IST. Pakistan stands second in the standings, trailing only the unbeaten India. They kicked off their campaign with a 2-each draw against Malaysia, followed by another 2-each draw with South Korea. On the other hand, China, led by Chen Qiuyun, secured their semi-final spot with a crucial 2-0 win over Japan in the final pool match of the tournament. Meanwhile, in the second semi-final, defending champions India will take on South Korea at 3:30 p.m. IST. India is the only unbeaten team in the tournament, having defeated China 3-0, Japan 5-1, Malaysia 8-1, Korea 3-1 and Pakistan 2-1. The reigning Asian Games gold medalist is upbeat ahead of the Korea clash. India's men and women teams continued their impressive run as India posted victories at the 5th round of Chess Olympiad in Budapest. The second-seeded Indian men defeated Azerbaijan 3-1 to maintain their unbeaten record. The 5th round saw Arjun Ergaizi, India's highest-ranked player, registering his 5th win in a row. The world number 4 beat Rauf Mamedov on the 3rd board. On the top board, D. Gukesh defeated Aydin Sulaimanli, but on the 2nd and the 4th board, R. Pragyananda and Vidit Gujarati had to be content with the draw. Meanwhile, Indian women overcame Kazakhstan 2.5 to 1.5. Dronavali Harika's defeat on the top board, Bibisara Asubayeva was a setback for the top seed, but the other women turned things around. On the second board, R. Vaishali scored a crucial win against Meruat Denova. 6 rounds still remain in the tournament. All right, that's it in this edition of DD India News Hour, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those of you on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates on India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. This app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. You can scan the QR codes on the screens to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Preeti Kaur signing off, and from all of us in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India News Hour.